What's up? It's Besa, and you guys are officially locked into another episode of The Rewind with Besa. Look, this week I am joined by my girl Julia Jesse. She's going to join us in about 20 minutes where we talk about Derek Jackson and his overall hypocrisy. First of all, let me let you guys know what we're talking about today. Aside from Derek Jackson, I finally finished up that TV show Black Mirror. I did another list for artists in the Pacific Northwest. And then we also have to talk about this AI rapper. Okay, there is a robot rapper that is taking over your kids' brains, and we got to talk about all of that. All right. So first and foremost, I want to welcome you guys to the show. As Omari always says, share the stream. Make sure you make sure you heart the stream, whether you have to laugh at the stream, whatever you do, any type of interaction makes it to where it pops up a little bit more on your timeline. If you know what I'm talking about, drop comments and join in on the conversation. So let's start out with what we talked about on the last episode of The Rewind with Besa, which was me giving you guys my 10 Pacific Northwest artists that you guys should know about. I want to say this is like maybe, what is this? The first slide. Oh, if we could show that real quick. So this is the one that I did a couple weeks ago, right? 15 Pacific Northwest artists that you guys should know about. As some of you may or may not know, I'm actually on in Portland on the weekends from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. So I do overnights. So we posted this list in Portland because obviously it's Pacific Northwest also, duh. And I actually got the list from Daryl Cruz. As you may or may not know, Daryl Cruz is from Tacoma. And I don't know how he linked up with Apple, but Daryl Cruz has some links and connections that you all might need. Okay, if you need someone that's connected, definitely hit him up, but don't do it disrespectfully. Either way, he now has a list on Apple Music that has, I want to say he uploads it or updates it once a week. Different Pacific Northwest artists that have really, really fire music, right? So I went on the list. The list is about 3 hours long. I picked a bunch of artists that I liked, put it on the website. When it went to the jamming website, Seattle, you guys said your normal thing. And honestly, I would say for Washington State, it was very, very well taken because we had people from Bremerton and, just over in different portions of Washington. So it wasn't just a whole bunch of Seattle artists. And I feel like a lot of people appreciated that. So that was great. When it came to Portland, everybody was like, they're playing with us. This is a Seattle list. All these artists are from Seattle. And I'm like, maybe from Washington, but not from Seattle. So I decided to do a list specifically for Portland artists. And that list went crazy, okay? I don't know how many freaking views it got on the website, but on this particular post, as you can see, it's over 700 likes, 80 plus comments, and only Windsor, he's over here talking crap, talking about ha ha ha. Since from Seattle, just put Portland onto Portland. Now, I don't necessarily know if I can or can't agree with that because obviously, child, I don't live in Portland. But I do know that a lot of the artists on that list were given to me from Mitch. And I want to say a couple months ago, I went on Facebook and I was like, yo, give me some Portland artists that I should know about. Da, 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 da. He gave me like a full-on list and I put some of those artists and I found some of my own. Now, although some of these Portland artists were not very, very happy that they weren't on the list, I think what everyone has to really remember when it comes to these lists is that obviously not everybody is going to be on every damn list, right? It literally says 10 Portland artists you should know about. It doesn't say the hottest artist in Portland. It doesn't say the best artist in Portland. It doesn't say this is ranked top 10 to 1. It doesn't say any of that. It literally just says artists that you should know about, which simply means these are artists that I checked out that I think are dope that you should know about. Doesn't mean they're the only, doesn't mean that they're the best. I also realize that you guys don't necessarily read the post. Which is another thing. So I guess I say all of that to say this. When it comes to these lists, don't take it so personal if you're an artist. You know what I mean? Like for me, I was very, very clear in that particular post where I said, I don't live in Portland. I live in Seattle. If there's someone out here that you think I should know about, let me know. And people were just like complaining, oh, whoever wrote this list really isn't from here. They're not tapped in. And it's like, I put in the post that I live in Seattle and I told you guys to let me know who else I should know about. So when people say that, take that seriously. Shoot me a DM, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Besa Gordon, BesaGordon. Let me know who I should know about. Let me know who I'm missing. Let me know who's popping. Please don't tell me about someone that hasn't dropped any music in 3-4 years, because at that point, I really don't care. There's nothing I can do about it if you're not active in the music game. You know what I'm talking about? So a couple quick things. I wrote some notes that maybe you guys can give some of your friends when it comes to different people that are dropping music and they want for someone like myself, or whether it's a blogger, a YouTuber, a podcaster, or another radio host, I don't care, and you want them to pay attention to you. When you reach out to them, first of all, do not be rude, okay? Y'all have a tendency, and I don't know if it's because I'm from Seattle, so you guys are really comfortable with me. It's not cute. Stop doing this. You guys like to come in my DMs and literally tell me what I need to play. Oh, put this in the mix, throw this on the radio. You need to play this. This is hot. This is hot to you. Okay? I'm not saying it's bad, but let's be honest. The way that you go about that is to not tell me what I need to do. It's to simply say, hey, I'm from the town. You're from the town. I got music. I feel like I'm dope. I think you're dope. You don't even have to big up my head. You can just big up your own head, but just don't be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're dropping. Let me know what you've been working on. Send me your Instagram link. Don't send me a DM. No tea, no shade. I don't know you like that, and I can't just be downloading MP3s from everybody, right? But send me your YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, you're not on Apple Music, what do you want me to do with you? I can't really do that much with you at that point. So make sure your music is out there. Aside from having links, really ask yourself if your music is quality. No tea, no shade. If you're only asking your parents, I don't really know if I can trust your opinion at that point, right? Have a good headshot, have good cover art. Some of y'all be doing your stuff on Canva and I can tell, and it's not cute. Make sure you take some time to invest in your brand. Like, some people might think that's rude. It's the reality. You know, like, we look at that stuff. You know, and Omari, can you pull up that Portland list again? When you look up these are pretty good photos. Now, some of them are still shots that maybe some of their friends might have took of them, but they're still clean photos. Some of y'all got photos of you in mask. I know it's COVID. That's not cute. I should not only see photos of you in your mask. I should not only see grainy photos of you that maybe your grandma took. Like, take some time to have someone with, you don't even need a Canon or a Nikon. You can honestly use your iPhone for this, you guys. Like, editing is amazing in 2021. Use it to your advantage. And then have a buzz. And then also, Google is your bestie. You know, sometimes you guys are like, I'm like, is your stuff on iTunes? Is it on iHeartRadio? Especially iHeartRadio, you guys. Like, Cube is an iHeartRadio station. You're sending me these Apple links. I can't put this on the website, okay? I cannot. We're not allowed to do that. So you have to think about these things and do your research and go on Google. And Google is free. I went to Google University. Everybody knows I dropped out of college, but guess what? I'm still here. So do your research. Make sure that you are on point when you reach out. And I think we'll all be good. And also, just don't take it personal. No doesn't always mean no. Sometimes it just means not right now. That's what I got to say to the artist. If you want to see the list, go to cube933.com or go to jammin107.com or 1075.com and check out Besa. The whole list is on there. I have different artists' music. We are going to go to our next topic, which is this AI rapper named FN Meka. I'm going to tell you guys why I want to talk about this. So the reason why I want to talk about FN Meka is because I just got done watching Black Mirror, okay? If you watch Black Mirror, you know that a lot of the things within Black Mirror are lightweight starting to come to life, okay? One of the things that's coming to life is, say, for example, the contact lenses. We're going to get to that in a second, but first, I want you guys to see what FN Meka looks like. Can you pull up FN Meka versus XXX? I want to say it's like the 6th slide. And with that, I find it very, very interesting that FN Meka, who happens to be, what would that be, on the right of their screen? Oh, so he's on the right of the screen with the green eyes. On the left of the screen is XXXTentacion. He's actually a rapper, okay? Passed away, tragic things happen. We all know that. Well, what's interesting is in this particular screenshot from Lovely T's YouTube, gotta love Lovely T, XXXTentacion is obviously an avatar. You see, he has this red eye, and I don't know what's going on with his other eye, but it's there. You see effing Mecca, who is an AI. Basically, he's a computer stimulation, if you will. It's like The Sims, but in 2021, right? He has these green eyes that are so piercing that sometimes you cannot ignore those eyeballs. There is a video of effing Mecca doing a little strip tease, and it made it to where some of the women, they were end up watching this video over and over and over again because they didn't realize that it was an AI. Or you watch it to the point where you don't remember that it's an AI anymore. Let me see if I can find this video. I feel like I uploaded it, child. You guys, I came in a little late. Oh, yep. It's F and Mecca strip tease in videos. Yeah, I named it that. I turned off the sound because I don't have time to be dealing with TikTok. But this is a robot. This is a AI robot, you guys. This effing Mecca is on TikTok. A lot of kids are on TikTok. I remember I interviewed this artist named 24K Golden, and he was like, for his generation, TikTok is like Instagram, right? Where when kids were growing up, parents would be like, no, you can't have an Instagram. But because they didn't know what TikTok was, they could have a TikTok. So you have all these kids on TikTok. This robot AI computer stimulation has 9 million followers, goes on TikTok and says, help me overthrow James Charles. James Charles is a super popular YouTuber. He sings, he does makeup, and he's frankly been getting in a lot of mess lately, right? So just to give you like a quick little thingy on James Charles, basically he's been caught up in like some scandals of talking to 16-year-olds, sliding in their DMs. James Charles is 21 years old, so he should be doing better than that, right? When you have millions and millions of followers, when you're like YouTube's cash cow, you definitely have to be very, very careful about who you are reaching out to, right? So FM Mecca decided that he wanted to overthrow James Charles. Why? Because when he did this particular post, FM Mecca had about 1 million followers. Now he has 9 million followers. He's getting very, very close to where James Charles is at, okay? At least when he originally posted. I want to say James Charles is now at about 30 million followers, and FN Mecca happens to be at 9 million followers. So clearly, his following is going up very, very quickly. Clearly, people like what he is posting, and clearly people are becoming mesmerized by this robot, which brings me back to freaking Black Mirror. If you've watched Black Mirror, you know that they have these contact lenses, right? Basically what happens when you put the lenses in your eyes, it pretty much takes a little snapshot, if you will, of every single thing that you see, right? Every time you blink, it takes a little picture. Every single time you see something, it takes a video, right? And then when you want to remember something that happened, like say, for example, we've all been blacked out drunk. Let's be frank, okay? You're blacked out drunk, you wake up, someone's next to you, and you're like, what happened here? Well, you grab your little remote. You know what I'm talking about. You grab your little remote, rewind it, and you're like, no. That's basically what those contacts can do for you, right? So these are a thing now. I want to say I uploaded this, you guys. I'm not even going to front with you, okay? I came running in here about 30 minutes ago, a little bit late. So I did my best to make sure I had that in there. And I think I did load it. Maybe I didn't load it. There's a video from Mojo that we did. Oh, I found it. I got it. Oh.
Modern technology promises to make us more knowledgeable, more efficient, and more connected. But does it? In surrounding ourselves with screens and devices, maybe we're losing something of ourselves. Imagine having the freedom to walk away from our screens. Would we see differently? Could we see more clearly? Or would we just begin to see? We see a future where computing becomes invisible, where technology fades away. The important thing is finding an edge, even in friendly competition. Imagine an augmented reality platform that lets you move freely. A truly mobile device that allows you to see unobstructed. A device that organically maps your own content right into the world. What if you could confidently explore new cultures and languages, free from digital disruptions? free to truly see eye to eye, forging lasting human connections. Imagine a world of seamless navigation, where you no longer need to keep your eyes glued to a map. What if you could feel like a local wherever you go? What if, with just a look, you could discover more than the eye can see? Just imagine the possibilities if you could truly interact with the world with that same look. It will help us provide better care for one another, allowing us to connect in crucial moments, providing vital information in an instant. It's hard to imagine our lives without a device in our hands, but imagine if you could replace the screens that pull your focus away with something that elevates the world around you. We don't have to imagine. We are turning science fiction into fact. An augmented reality smart contact lens. What will you see? Eyes up.
This is the thing. So I was actually going to originally grab this video from somewhere else, but I wanted to make sure that you guys actually understood that this is truly a thing, okay? So basically, Samsung has a patent to now do these contact lenses. That video that you just watched is from NASA's iTech channel on YouTube. Okay, so I made sure I went to some of the best to get that video. So you guys did not think I was just pulling this out of a Simpsons cartoon. There are so many things that I feel like have been happening over the years that we have just not known about, or maybe we've just ignored because we've gotten so used to, technology to where we get so used to just being like, hey Siri, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Let me put my phone down before Siri says, what's up? Should be popping up for no reason. But seriously, you guys, I remember, I want to say 2013, 2014, when I worked at AT&T, we had a training and there were these phones and these smart fridges and they were clear. And basically, it was off some Black Mirror type stuff. I've never talked about it because they basically gave us a certain time frame to where we could speak on it. And I feel like the time frame is over now because now we have Black Mirror. But basically, they've been working on this since like 2013, 2014, even before then. And in that particular case, the phone was not like, it wasn't like our iPhones right now where it was solid. It was literally glass. But when you touched it and when you utilized it, it worked in the same way as those Black Mirror contacts, which made it to where you had this whole little virtual reality going on. So at the end of the day, I know it sounds crazy. I know a lot of people don't want to watch Black Mirror. Same thing. Yeah. It's what do they call it? Predictive programming. It's like you're right. When you had the Pokemon game, I was playing it. My phone was dying all the time. I'm walking around, going to random places. I wasn't doing like other people falling out of trees trying to get the hottest Pokemons, if you know what I'm talking about. I wasn't crashing on the freeway like some people did or going in people's lawns. But I remember when I lived in Renton, I was in my bedroom one day and I just saw people walking down the streets. And they all had their phones out because they were trying to catch the Pokemon. And it was like 10:30 at night. Like, you're about to catch a dog or a deer if you keep messing around out here in Renton. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Anywho, that is the thing. And let me show you what else is a thing before we move on to our next topic. There are these new influencers, right? Just like FN Mecca, if you guys ended up missing FN Mecca, which is a new AI rapper, basically a computer robot rapper, okay? He literally sounds like XXXTentacion and Juice WRLD. You don't know, you might not know who he is, but your kids do, okay? So ask them. There is a girl named Little Michaela, and she posted up a YouTube little reel of who she is and what she's about, and she lightweight talks about the robot takeover of 2020. What video was that? Let me see.
But you have a name for your fans.
I do.
Michaelians.
Yeah.
Who is a Michaelian? Michaelian is my internet friend. Or I guess really anyone who knows what it feels like to feel different. See, robots and aliens, I like to think, are friends because they're just trying to survive in a world that's made for humans. I can heavily relate to anyone who's ever felt out of place.
Because you're a robot.
Right.
Which, you made that announcement fairly recently, right? Admitting to the world that you're a robot. What motivated that decision? Why did you want to, I don't know, share your true self?
Yeah, well, it actually wasn't my choice. So I'm not the only robot pop star. Bermuda is basically a robo Paris Hilton and Sharpay Evans combined. And she and I were created by a lab called Kane Intelligence. I was programmed to believe that I was a 19-year-old, half Brazilian, half Spanish girl named Michaela. So Kane asked Brad, an independent AI contractor who eventually became my managers and my adopted family, to work on my mainframe. Brad thought Kane was developing me to be a companion for terminally ill children, but then when they dug into my source code, they found out that I was actually being programmed to serve as some kind of sex robot for the Illuminati, or whatever.
Whatever. That's a big deal.
Wait, not trying to like downplay, like it was creepy.
So, Dora, I had the same damn questions. Is this real? What is happening here? Lightweight is real. Okay, so she's a robot. She's in a meta-human robot, basically saying,
Did y'all hear about the robot invasion of 2020? I mean, I've been around for a minute.
I thought I turned the sound off of that and I didn't, but give me 1 second. We're gonna get to that so that way you guys can really see what Michaela is doing on YouTube, because I'm pretty sure your kids are watching her. Okay. Basically, like they said, she was created as a robot to help out kids and things like that, and they decided to give her more of a human brain. They can literally impute things into these robots, and it makes it to where Michaela can walk in here and sit right next to me. Now, does she look exactly the way that she does on the screen to us facially? I don't think so. I had to go into the comments a little bit, and then somebody was saying that basically she doesn't necessarily look as real in person. So I'm thinking that they do like a little bit of editing with her face, which is why you don't see her and Zach at the same time in the screen. But she's a real thing. I want you guys to check out this little video clip for her YouTube channel.
Did y'all hear about the robot invasion of 2020? I mean, I've been around for a minute, but I feel like last year was on a whole other level. If you're late to the party, hey, I'm Michaela. I'm a 19-year-old robot living in LA making music and, well, I guess just keep watching and catch up.
What's mapping? Where's that comment at? Give me the tea. So somebody's in the comments saying that this kind of sounds a little bit like back in the day where they did NBA mapping on the different players. NBA 3K. Uh-huh. Yeah, no, this is a thing. Let me show you guys this other video really, really quick of this robot named Sophia. I got it.
A special shout out to Hanson Robotics. Sophia the robot represents state-of-the-art artificial intelligence. She's a super advanced humanoid robot capable of showing over 60 different human expressions, interpreting human language and human emotion. She's been in development for over 2 years. She's a learning artificial intelligence, but she wouldn't kiss me, so there's probably, some development flaws that they need to work on.
Child, maybe you got some flaws that you need to work on. I'm mad that Will Smith wanted to kiss a robot, but we won't go there. So basically, if you guys want to know what Little Michaela is, that is pretty much a rendition of what Little Michaela is. The only difference is I think that they're putting like a little green screen on her face to make her look a little more realistic. I'm not saying that she looks more so like Sophia on the day-to-day basis, but she's definitely closer to Sophia than she is the AI rapper that I was talking about, okay? I wanted to bring this to your attention because the AI rapper gives me Sims vibes, but in reality, right? If little Michaela can walk in this room right now, that means that AI rapper can walk in this room right now. We also have like a little video of what you can see that Justin Bieber has been doing with Amazon, right? So he did this last year for Christmas. He turned himself into an AI. And the thing about this, which you end up actually seeing in Black Mirror, I know this is creepy. You guys got to watch it so you know what's coming, okay? It gives these artists a break, right? If you're sick, if you're tired, if your foot is broken, if you've lost your voice, or heck, if you keep getting your butt arrested, it makes it to where these companies are not having to have such a tie to you and your crazy antics, right? It makes it to where if you are sick and you're cheating on your wife like Derek Jackson, which we're getting into in a second, Julia is in the back, okay? Stay tuned for that. Nobody has to deal with you making it to where they're losing money off of you acting up, right? So at that particular case, it makes sense because I'm not having to pay you millions and millions of dollars to come to my video shoot. All I have to do is pay your creator couple 100,000, maybe even that, right? So it's very, very scary when you think about this because little Michaela, the girl that was talking about how she was supposed to be an Illuminati doll, child, she was in a freaking Calvin Klein commercial with an actress and they kissed, which at that point shows AI and robots and humans merging together. I don't care what nobody says. This is the problem, and that is why I am warning you about it. With that being said, I am sorry for scaring some of you guys, but I gotta let you guys know what's going on. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we're gonna bring in my boo Julia.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
All right, we are back, and now we are going to change the subject. No more robot talk, you guys. I'm done, at least for this particular episode. Don't trip skip. I might come back with something else next week once I do some more research. But right now, I want to bring in Miss Julia Jesse so we can talk about Derek Jackson and his hypocrisy.
Child, listen, I know we wanted to hear all about this artificial intelligence, but I'm sure everyone is really anxious to hear about the tea and shade. Okay, honey, because we're coming with it.
Yes. Real quick, while you're here, what do you think about this artificial intelligence? Because, I was talking to you earlier and you was like, you don't want to watch Black Mirror. And I was like, get into it.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this switch over. I mean, I'm not with it. I'm not with the artificial intelligence stuff. But it's going to be the new wave, I mean, we're just going to have to get used to it. We're going to have to be prepared for it. To me, it's a little scary. It doesn't feel normal. And it feels like all the movies that we watched, 10, 15 years ago are all coming true.
I absolutely agree. And I think that they've been coming true if I'm really keeping it real. I just think that they've been hiding it this whole time. And I think with different shows like Black Mirror coming to life and then with everyone being stuck at home, you can't sit here and hide it because now I have nothing but time. Some of these articles that I pulled up to have some of these facts are from 2016. This is pre-COVID. Yeah. I just had the extra time to sit down and, look into it. You know what I mean? I've never watched Black Mirror before, but somebody had mentioned on Lovely T's YouTube that some of the things from Black Mirror, like the contacts, are coming to life. So I was like, let me get into this show.
Girl, listen, I'm scared to watch Black Mirror. I've watched a couple episodes and it's hella scary, honestly. I can't do it.
What'd you say? Oh,
They're able to take the old pictures, like pictures of your deceased relative,
mm-hmm.
with AI and like bring the photos to life.
They're already doing it with movies. Oh, I don't remember what movie it was. I think it might have been a Star Trek movie. And one of the actors passed away and they literally brought him back to life with AI, which made it to where they didn't have to replace him. Like the family was like, it's cool. And I was like, see, this is what Prince was talking about. Y'all keep playing. This is what Prince was talking about.
And not even just in the United States. In fact, on Friday, when I was leaving the office, one of my colleagues from Sierra Leone was telling me that her husband was, he's basically doing some manufacturing work in AI. And he was talking about it coming to the continent of Africa, you guys. So it's not just happening here in the US. It's going to be global for sure.
Sounds about right. Sounds about 2020. Sounds about 2021. Everything that's been going on, we still don't know where the heck COVID came from. So everything sounds real on brand with what we're dealing with right about now. Speaking of things being on brand, although this is an off-brand situation, Derek Jackson, honey, let me tell you something. When did you find out about Derek Jackson? Because when I found out about him, I was just scrolling on Instagram, minding my own business, and I saw this dark chocolate man with super white teeth, and I was like, who that? And he was talking some real stuff, and I was like, let me follow him. But I'm not going to front. Eventually, I was like, something's not right, so I stopped following him, and then I kind of didn't pay attention to him too much until all of this foolishness happened.
That's interesting that you knew who he was beforehand, because I had no idea who Derek Jackson was. So I really only saw who he was and took a deep dive in once the scandal occurred, once he was exposed. So when I went to his Instagram page, I did notice that many of my friends and followers follow him already. He has 1.3 million followers. So a lot of people knew who he was. So I didn't know him before the expose.
Yeah, girl. Did you know that I don't know if you knew this, but he's written 12 books.
Listen, he's been on plenty of panels, plenty of shows.
Essence. He has a deal with TD Jakes. We're going to talk about that in a second, because his recent mistress, he told her, don't answer no phones. I have a deal with TD Jakes. And if this comes out, my deal's going to be a dub.
Sis, I did a deep dive, and I know, listen, it's interesting that we're even talking about this. I texted Besa, you guys, and I was like, listen, do you want to do a special show just on Derek Jackson? Because it is just, when I say I have plunged down this rabbit hole of betrayals and just exposure, I can't get enough of it. And I just wanted to bring it to the audience to talk about. So Besa was like, I'm already doing something, pull up on Saturday.
You know how I do. I was like, say less. Just pull up. Just join the party. Let's have a conversation.
Girl,
so, okay. For those of you that don't know, as we were saying, Derek Jackson is basically like a self-proclaimed relationship guru. He's been helping Black women, or somewhat helping Black women. It kind of depends, because, somewhat he's helping Black women, look into a certain type of person to date, but also he's been taking advantage of his fans, different fans that have jumped in his DMs asking him for advice, and he's like, oh, you're cute. They meet up, and all of a sudden they're smashing days later, while he's been married for the last 12 years. What's been so interesting is that someone like myself, I didn't even know this man was married, let alone had kids. Yeah. So what ended up happening, for those of you that don't know, Tasha K, she's a YouTuber. She basically, I don't know how she ended up getting to some of his mistresses. I don't know why they reached out to her, but she ended up blasting Derek Jackson, right? As you can see here, we got the shade room where after he confirmed that he was cheating on his wife, but before then he was saying it was fake news.
Yep.
That pissed her off. So the first story that came out was a woman named Candace that has known Derek Jackson for, I want to say, 10 plus years. Mm-hmm. And I want to say over the last year or so, they kind of started messing around a little bit, which is why he says that he hasn't cheated on his wife in about 6 months. But we have audio to debunk that coming up in a few minutes. Mm-hmm. And within that, Tasha K got upset and she was like, you need to apologize because you're saying that I'm lying. He wouldn't apologize. So she came out with the second mistress, who is her. I put the little thingy down there so that way you guys can't see her petunia. I try to keep it somewhat friendly over here. But this is his second mistress after he tried to say that Tasha K was lying. So that is when he finally came out and admitted that he had been sleeping around and cheating on his wife, and he had not cheated on his wife in about 6 months. Julia, if you don't mind, we're going to play their quick address to the community, if you will, and then we will give some commentary.
But, a lot has been said already about what was the cause and all that other stuff. Some of it is true. Some of it is completely false. But the truth is, and I'm saying it here now, is that Derek Jackson was involved with other women outside the marriage. And by involved, I want to be clear. I'm not talking about just casually kicking it, maybe a lunch or something like that. I'm talking about as serious as sex, to sexual flirtation and meeting up and that kind of thing. And some things that otherwise may be considered okay by some in terms of like just chatting or checking on people or being checked on by people that I've had a previous encounter with. But without my wife's knowledge of it and with us having a sexual history, all of it falls under the umbrella of inappropriate, cheating, affair, stepping out, definitely not in alignment with the vows that I took, and definitely not in alignment with the biblical standard of what it means to be faithful, which is the standard that I'm going by now. Now, I'm saying this publicly, not because I'm, married to you guys. First and foremost, I'm preaching certain things, preaching against certain things. And then in my real life, live contrary to that for any amount of time or any length of time to any extent and think that I can't be held accountable. The same way that I preach, men and women in this situation need to face consequences of their actions, deserve to be held accountable. Guess what? Derek Jackson's no exemption. First and foremost, I'm accountable to God. Then I have to be accountable to my wife, in which we've already had this conversation. I've already told her literally everything. I've given her basically a roll call list. If I've said hello to a woman in the last 12 years of me knowing her, she knows about it. But now that it's been made so public, it's important that I first off let you guys know I do not stand by those actions. I don't want to encourage anybody to do that. And then secondly, I know that I cannot build a platform preaching certain things, preaching against certain things.
Let me tell you something.
These comments are hilarious because Amari, can we put up Jasmine Pratt's comment? Why does she keep that bonnet on? It's a video, y'all. Like this.
Why didn't I grab that video? I didn't have time to edit the video where she's like, you see a bonnet, I see a helmet of salvation. You see an army shirt, I see a uniform. I was like, girl, you have a couple screws loose. I don't know who did a lefty loosey on you a couple times, but I need a few righty tighties. Like, I'm not saying the screw is gone. It's a little wobbly though.
Listen, I'm taking cues from you, sis. I'm ready to fire off at any moment. So you just let me know where I fit in. Because this right here, I can't keep it tight-lipped. Like, honestly, I have too much to say.
Okay, well, let me ask you this before we go into the next clip of his third mistress, because what they're really talking about in that clip where he's apologizing and is the two mistresses, right, where he was like, oh, I haven't cheated on my wife in 6 months. And Tasha K was like, the lies you tell on a good Monday. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so she came out with an additional mistress, and we're going to get to that in a second. But as a woman that is in a relationship, how you feel about this, sis? Because I'm single.
Well, this relationship, I would say, is in terms of time in a relationship. I met my significant other in college as well. And so we are college sweethearts. And we've been together for over 10 years, just like Danae Jackson and Derek Jackson. And so when you start out young and you start out like falling in love as kids, 18, 19 years old, oftentimes you grow into a different person when you start getting a little bit older. And so I understand that they're in a place where they might be trying to relearn each other and readjust. I mean, Derek is, a public figure at this point, 1.3 million followers. That's a lot to kind of live up to. And after taking a little bit of a deep dive into his wife, Danae Jackson's Instagram, and she's very open and transparent and really vulnerable on her social media, I kind of get I have a theory that they have kind of grown apart. However, I don't blame him I don't believe that gives him the audacity and the right to step outside of his relationship. And with that being said, I understand that infidelity happens, right? There's too many of us who have experienced infidelity in our relationship. And I think what makes this situation difficult is because the public is watching. Whereas if it were just you and your man and, the person who told you got, or, exposed that there was some cheating, it would be a little bit easier to kind of get over. But when it's for millions of people, and I think over 6 million people watch their 30-minute little message PSA to the community, it's going to make it very difficult for this relationship to survive if they don't pivot properly.
I agree. And did you see him reacting to the video?
Girl, did I see it? Besa, there's not anything I did not watch from this.
Okay, good. I'm pretty sure there's some people that didn't see it. We're going to play this video of him reacting to it. And I had to search because he deleted it. Like he uploaded the video. So I had to search for him to reacting for it and take it off of someone else's channel because he tried to get rid of it. But we got it.
Comments of this video. I don't know if old boy was trolling or not, but he said, D, I think I want to see a reaction to this video. So let's do it. And by the way, I'm going to speak in third person. A lot of you already seen this, but this is Derek Jackson. A lot of people think of him as a relationship expert and guru and all of that. Well, he and his wife are making this video because apparently at some point in their marriage, or maybe even beforehand in a relationship, he didn't take his own advice and he stepped out and he got involved with other women, as you heard them say. Now, upon first impression, nothing really stuck out to me about him, but more so about the wife. Like I heard her say that she stands with her husband. She's proud to love him. I heard her say that, this is some time ago. They've already processed this, overcame this, dealt with this a long time ago, and nothing's really new to her. But just by her body language, I was really wondering, like, did he force her to do this video? Like, she looks super uncomfortable, like she doesn't want to be there. But then I watched their live chat that they did right afterwards, and, I kind of caught that this is just a part of her personality, so that kind of explains somewhat of her demeanor. She clearly has a mind of her demeanor. She clearly has a mind of her own, if you saw the live chat too. And she said that the live chat even was her idea. So with that, cool. She wants to stand by her husband. She feels like he's worth it. She has that right. Now, as far as what he said, I understand and I completely applaud him taking accountability, because too many times we see dudes and they got this sob story about how they was raised and, they broken home and the goldfish died and they never seen a marriage and all that. He didn't do that. He just took accountability. But I hope he understands that all the accountability in the world is not going to rebuild broken trust. Not on a personal level, and even with the public that he's addressing. Like, even his most loyal supporters at this point will probably have a raised eyebrow from this point forward whenever he wants to condemn another man for something like this, and rightfully so. So hopefully he understands that. And I also thought it was very intriguing how he brought in God at the end. I don't really hear him speak like that. So, do it God's way or else it's going to fail. Now, if I saw that a couple of years ago, I honestly would have called BS.
I just cannot.
Listen, one thing that I thought was super important to point out in this video, and even folks that are watching pointed it out, is that he disassociates himself not only in this video by speaking in third person, but he did it in the previous video by speaking in third person.
Sure did.
By calling it, by the way, I'm going to talk in third person. By the way, you already have talked in third person. Also, Derek Jackson, you didn't come out and present yourself and say, you know what, me and my wife are coming here today because we've gone through this and these trials and tribulations, blah, 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 blah. And here's why he needed to do that. You have built your entire platform, your career. You are making money off of people who are buying into your BS. And now you have this huge thing that totally dismantles everything that you talk about. So even if he had a conversation with his wife to say, you know what, babe, I cheated on you, I stepped outside of our marriage, X, Y, and Z, he needed to have brought this to the forefront. And it wasn't until Tasha K pulled up and basically said, oh, I got something for you, that he decided to come out with this video. So you didn't come out. So we're not going to applaud you for your accountability, sir. You didn't come out and be held accountable. You were forced out.
You were blasted. Like 2021, I don't know what it is about 2020, 2021. Everyone's business has been getting put on blastity, blast. Like at the end of the day, Derek freaking Jackson, I don't know why he spells his last name like that, but we all digress in this moment. his whole career is built off of being perfect. Okay, for him to build such a career off of being perfect, being the perfect guy, and then to come out to be the perfect trash guy, and then to let your wife come out with no bra on, that is out of pocket. Okay, here's my thing. I know some people are saying don't go in on the wife, and I'm not going to. I'm really going in on him. If you watch the full video, I only put a couple minutes of it up, right? He's picking lint off his pants. His nails are perfectly manicured. His lineup is real crispy. And days before, he was at his mistress's house. You know why I know that? I'll tell you why I know that. Where are these clips at? Because, see, if you look in the background, those white pillars is his mistress's house, who he was allegedly with on Thursday. Okay? So here's the thing. He did that video on Monday talking about, and she's like, oh, there's nothing I don't know about. Well, allegedly, his mistress was pregnant late November, December. So did you know about that, sis? Because you said he hasn't cheated on you in 6 months, when really he may not have cheated on you in 6 days, when in reality, right after that video dropped, let me see if I can find this clip. See, this is
receipts, sis. I love these receipts.
Because, girl, I had a nice little screenshotting spree last night. I don't know where it went. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna play a clip of the mistress talking about when they met, how they met back in December.
The third mistress, mind you guys, number 3, mistress number 3.
And if you guys also, before I play this, go on her Instagram, she talks about how this has been happening for years. There's friends that she knows that he slept with. So this ain't nothing new to her. That's why she's still there, child. This is just another pimple on her face.
Ooh.
Now you say, now the wife says that he's been straight and narrow for about 5 to 6 months. And that's when he first he just recently posted his wife on his social media this year. For the first time. People didn't even know he was married. And so when I had no idea. You didn't know he was married? No. Okay, so walk me from the beginning. What month did you guys meet?
We met October, 2 days before Halloween.
Okay, of 2020.
2020. Yeah.
This recent. Okay, and so what happened? Like, how did he approach you? Because this wasn't no DM situation. Normally, he's fucking his subscribers. So this is different. Yeah. He met you in person.
I was walking into Lenox Mall. I guess that's the name of it. I'm not from this area. Walking into Lenox Mall, and I was texting, and I heard him say, "Excuse me, ma'am." And when I turned around, he introduced himself as Z. He didn't say, hey, it's me, Zeri, whatever. He just said, hey, this is Z. And he was like, I seen you walking in, and, I think you're gorgeous, and I wanted to know, could I get your number, and, we talk and kind of build a friendship. And he was so polite. He was a gentleman, and I was like, sure. I gave him my phone number, and we began to talk.
So this next clip that we're going to play before we give the full on commentary is when she's like, in the videos that he's been in lately, he's literally in front of her house. And
isn't that crazy?
Like a week or so ago. The gall, the ball. Let me just play the damn video. Hold on.
I can say probably I've never been to his house. I've never been to a pen house or anything. He has always came to my home. If you look in all of his videos that he have uploaded, my front balcony is in the back of his video.
Does it have the white arches?
It's the white arches.
Shut the fuck up. Those are recent.
That's my home. Yes, that's my home.
Hey, shout out to Tasha K. Like, when I say she digs deep and gets into it, this dug deep, okay? And so I think one thing that's important to highlight about the third mistress is that she was also given a gag order. So Derek, so she's a 33-year-old surgeon who recently moved to Georgia, to the Atlanta area. She met him not off social media, like she says in the tape. And she had no idea about this scandal. She didn't know anything about it. And she wasn't, as she says, she wasn't checking for him like that. She had never watched any of his YouTube videos. And I mean, if I'm thinking about it as a surgeon, if you're, spending most of your time in the OR and, you got a nice big coin, you're not really checking for, YouTube. She's probably thinking, oh, he's a YouTuber, not really thinking much about it. And in fact, he's probably not really promoting that side of him to her. So she says when she found out, it wasn't until she hopped on her sister's YouTube account that she was able to see everything unfold and reached out to Tasha. Days later, probably 2 days later, if maybe not even that long, Derek Jackson hit her with a gag order so that she was not able to talk. However, Tasha K was already there, honey, and that tape that they recorded was already done before that gag order hit. Hello.
Because they did the interview on Monday. The gag order was done on Thursday. And Tasha K was like, let me tell you something. I talked with my lawyers. They said I could put this out because this was done on Monday. And I'm because I think that they have some more audio. And she's just not sure if they can use it because it was done after the gag order. But if she puts it out, because the whole reason why I think she put out this extra one is because he said that she was lying, and she was like, you need to apologize because I have more. And he didn't. And he tried to get that gag order in, but he was about 2-3 days too short of getting that gag order in. And here's my thing. I think my biggest issue with all of this is that although he's coming out with his wife, bonnet, no bra and all, you're still lying, sir. It's like you're saying, oh, I hope that, when you're talking in third person about yourself while you're literally reading yourself, you're saying, oh, I hope that he understands that his fans are not necessarily going to really know how to feel about them. I hope he understands that, his fans are going to kind of look at him a little sideways. Well, now we really got to look at you sideways because you're literally sitting at your mistress's house in some of these damn videos that were literally done as of like a freaking week ago. Like, what are you doing, sir? And you're talking about, oh yeah, I'm with my wife. I'm faithful. I'm not doing anything crazy 88s. No, you are still doing crazy 88 stuff. Like you're literally going to your mistress's house days after you filmed this video.
Let me tell you, sis, I don't feel bad for her. I don't feel bad for her because she wants to stay in the relationship with her husband. Go ahead, sis. You want to stay in the relationship with your husband? No problem. This is the thing that makes this story most interesting to me. And I'm going to ask you a question after I take a few jabs. And I know we're not going to talk about the wife. Derek Jackson is a clown. He's a straight cornball. And he's somebody that even if I watched his videos before, I'd probably be like, how does he know about this? And he's super inauthentic. And I hope that people, especially cancel culture, I hope they pull up. This is definitely fraud. Call your bank. You know what I'm saying? And get your money back for all those books that you bought. For him to be an author of 12 books and not be authentic about who he is and what he stands for, I don't think he should be allowed to have such a platform to talk to people who are in a vulnerable situation, who are using his videos to play to their husbands and say, this is what this guy says. Like it's just too much. But I do have a question for you. Now that all of this has broke, the wife now has 89,000 followers.
Shut up!
The wife has 89,000.
She gained 50,000 followers in because she started out with like 3,000. And a couple days ago, she was at 34,000.
Yes. Yeah, she's blowing up, right? They're both keeping their pages public. The wife has now come out with not one, but 2 additional videos to discuss and have this kind of commentary. Do you think that they will somehow pivot, stay together, and then come out with books or forums or a platform that says, we're together, we went through this healing circle, this is what we're trying to do, and then come out and roll out some type of business strategy? Because he's clever. Let's not get it twisted. Derek Jackson is a clever guy. Even the reaction video that he came out with a few days later, as annoying as it was to continue to hear yourself in third person, it was pretty clever.
It was clever.
What do you think? Do you think they're going to be able to recover from this and launch some type of business or book deal thereafter?
Do I think? I think it's obvious that that's what they're doing. First of all, even though he woke her butt up out of her sleep, while she had no bra on. She just grabbed something. When that bonnet falls off your head and then you reach over and get it under the pillow and you put it on to go open the door. Yeah, that's what he did to her. Okay, even though he did that twice now, didn't even let her go get her nails done before she got on camera. It's very obvious because, damn, I didn't want to go in on the wife, but here we are. In some of her videos, she literally talks about how her God, Jesus Christ, has called her forward to freaking battle, has called her forward to be a testament, has called her forward to be that voice, has called her forward to do her ministry and tell everybody, look, this can potentially happen, but this is how you get through it. She's like, nobody can save Derek but Jesus Christ, and he's already done that. Smim, just like he said so in the video, if Jesus Christ was there, he would have pulled his pants up. So what you talking about, sis? But we won't go there because obviously you didn't see that before you did that little response. So at this particular case, obviously they're in on this together because what he told his second mistress, and when I say second, obviously he has 10s, 15s, even more mistresses because some of them were her homegirls.
Hello.
He told her that his wife was bad in bed. I saw her photos and I saw them kitten heels. No shade. I can see that. So either how, I'm just saying, child, sometimes you can just be like, I don't even want to, I'm good. I'm gonna mind my business on what y'all do up in there. But at the end of the day, you have to be kidding me, because one of the things that he told her is that she's bad in bed and she won't give him a divorce because she doesn't want to work. I don't necessarily think that is that she doesn't want to work. I think it's that she's extremely Christian and does not believe in divorce. I think she's one of those Christians that's like, I'm not going to get a divorce. The Bible does not tell me that I can get a divorce. The way she's thumping freaking verses every 5 seconds about her man cheating on her as he cheats on her again days later, it's crazy to me. So at that particular point, obviously you are in here, one, for money, because it's a better thing for you and your children. It's not like this is a boyfriend-girlfriend situation where they've been dating for years. They've been together for 14 years now?
Yeah.
They were together in high school. One of his mistresses has known him for 10 years. They were married 2 or 3 years before that. So they've been around each other for a minute. So at that particular point, it's like, I done put all this time into you. Now you got me out here looking crazy. Okay. You didn't even let me do a face mask before I came on camera. And you got our kids in the background, one of the videos, because you didn't even take the time to watch the kids. He was probably at his third mistress's house, freaking with the white pillars, filming a damn video when he should have been watching those kids while she was trying to film her video and save face. It's just a mess. So yes, I absolutely feel that they are doing book deals. And like I said, he put that freaking mistress on, the third one anyways. He put her on a gag order because he has $100,000 deal with TD Jakes, a book deal and a tour deal. If this came out after he done sat here and said he hasn't been cheating on her in 6 months, the deal is a dub. Now TD Jakes looks crazy. So yeah, this is all a lot about money. This is a lot about saving face. And this is also about having her not look crazy when she goes back to church.
Well, it's interesting because I know we talked about we're not going to get on the wife, but there's absolutely
we're here.
We're here, and there's no way we can't talk about it. So I want to address a few things since we're here. Number one, Black girls coming out, or Black women wearing a bonnet, has always, and I went to a HBC, you guys, it's always been taught and instructed that it's very inappropriate to wear your bonnet, your headscarf outside of the house. So in this occasion, while we're watching it, every single little Black girl is watching it and cringing like, there is no way sis jumped on camera with her bonnet on. That's like coming on video with your nightgown. It's inappropriate. So I don't care what your hair was. You should have pulled that off and put a little Nike hat on. Sis did come out and say it was a hat, and then later on said it was a helmet of salvation, child. So we just gonna not go there. To give a little more context, Danae Jackson, and if you go to her Instagram and do a deep dive like your girl Jules did, she is in a cult-like Christian, very radical Christian kind of thing, to the point where there are videos. And if you guys look at the podcast, the Plain Jane podcast on YouTube, huge
It's
2
2 hours,
hours
but it's worth it. It's worth
and
it.
she shows you that she's with these almost like prosperity preachers, like they're going to, you know, it's the ones where they touch you when you fall out. You know what I'm saying? It's like the uber super, like, we've been talking about artificial intelligence. This is like along those lines. Okay. It's like super, it's out of control. Okay. So the wife in her dress, like it's kind of like a play on modesty. And if you read her captions on her Instagram posts, they're very dark and there's a lot going on there. She is very open. She talks about being a victim of forced sex, and she refers to it as the R word. I don't want to trigger anyone. And then she also talks about taking a deep dive in Derek Jackson's photo gallery and watching the actual sex tapes of not only his mistresses but some friends of hers, and comparing uh their wetness to her wetness. Okay, like she's taking a deep dive. She has issues with colorism and dark skinned women. I guess she's very envious of dark skinned women. I don't know if she thinks that she's like a light skinned woman, but either way, this girl has a lot of issues. And I think, you know, you and I, Besa, we even talked about this, like, where's her good girlfriend? Where's her mother? Where's her auntie? Where's somebody that's kind of reeling her in? And so a lot of the behaviors that she's exemplifying shows abandonment, shows a lot of paranoia. I mean, this girl has a lot more going on than just infidelity. And one thing I also noticed, Besa, is that that when she was talking on the video with Derek by her side in the live, Derek was very embarrassed of her actions when she kept saying, like, the blood of the lamb, and
Like,
the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He kept laughing and was like, come on, babe, like, relax. So
or
Derek,
would squeeze her hand really, really hard. And that was when he started like doing the two-hand thing. If you notice, like first it was just like her hands were open and he was like holding her hand, and then eventually he added that extra hand to where he could squeeze it when she would kind of go a little too left.
When they were answering questions from the people on the live, because they did the video, then they dropped it, and then there was a session where they did like a Q&A, and Danae Jackson was doing her thing. Danae Jackson doesn't speak English. She speaks scripture. That's how she talks. Like it's very difficult to dissect because it sounds like code if you're not familiar with the Bible, but that is her love language. She speaks Christianity. She preaches the Bible. She does, and it's a way of disassociation. To me, God is love. And this girl right here feels like, and has spoken out of her mouth, that she's under some type of spiritual attack, and that, she's being threatened. Those behaviors are not being modified in front of Derek Jackson. Okay. Like, so when she's sitting alongside her husband and they're doing that Q&A, she keeps looking to him and she's like, I'm this is who I am. I'm not going to, they don't know who I am. This is who I am. And she's kind of like talking to him, and he's like, okay, calm down, babe. Calm down, babe. And you can tell by his mannerisms that he is very uncomfortable with her behavior. And that is probably why he didn't have her on his platform.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of reasons why he didn't have her on his platform.
Clearly.
I do want to say there is no tea, no shade to any Christians on here. We are not going in on you. I'm not necessarily calling you guys Bible thumpers. Y'all know what we mean when we say these things. I grew up in a Baptist church. I actually grew up at Goodwill Missionary Baptist Church. So it's no tea, no shade. You know what I mean? Like, my mom still goes there, so it's nothing of that. We are just having a conversation about what is going on right now. But you know, Julia, how people out here in Seattle can be when you start talking about something. So you gotta sometimes toss out that little disclaimer real quick, and it's like, there's no shade. This is just topical.
Yeah, this is a deep. I mean, this thing runs deep, Besa. It runs deep. I encourage anyone who just wants to take a deeper dive to go ahead and jump in there. I strongly believe that this couple will pivot. I wish Ayanna Van Zant was not ending her season of Fix My Life, because
Iyanla can't fix that. Don't put that on Iyanla.
Oh, this is her last season. She's not doing it
No,
anymore.
I'm saying Iyanla cannot fix their stuff.
Oh,
Don't
but
put that on
obviously-
Iyanla. You
oh.
would have to, like, Iyanla would be like, I don't got time for this. You've been doing this since before you were married. You over here on camera talking about you've been good for 6 months and you was with your mistress last week. You're still filming videos at her house. Get out of here with that. Like, Iyanla would be pissed.
It's gonna be some good TV though, because Ayanla does not hold back. So I'm waiting for a good special to roll out on these. Pull up to the red table talk, honey. This story is not going to die out gracefully. So they are going, if Danae Jackson is on board to stand alongside her husband, please believe somebody is going to pick this up. And again, this is good TV. It's good social media tea. It's drama. It's kind of funny to talk about because it's not my life. But I do send out my prayers and well-beings to really both of them, right? This is a hard thing to go through in front of millions of people. You have every single person talking about it, dishing in feedback, and this is like their real life. And so Derek Jackson clearly has some demons and some things he needs to work through. He may just need to leave his wife and go enjoy himself in his new celebrity lifestyle that he has. And
I think he's comfortable. No tea, no shade. I'm not even trying to interrupt you. I feel, and you can tell me what you think, because you in a relationship. I'm not. I ain't been in a girl, you know what I mean? Because I've been doing.
I think he doesn't want to be. I think he does not want to be in a relationship.
I feel like he's comfortable. I feel like they have an understanding, and I feel like because at the end of the day, your relationship is technically not my business, right?
Right.
So for them, she's been absolutely okay with not being on the social media. It's people like me that's like, you got kids and you're married?
Yeah.
This isn't a recent marriage? You've been married this whole time?
I know.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I feel like they've had an understanding for years, and it's also potential that she didn't want to be on his social media because potentially she knew that this could be the reaction. I mean, you go through her Instagram, you was on there. Yeah, she has 80 something thousands, but she's never been, I don't want to say that out loud, but here we are. She's never been the stereotypical bad bitch, if you are, right? She's not unattractive. She's not, she's above average at best, if you will, from our last video. If y'all was watching it, check it out.
But Derek Jackson is above average, right? And
that's what I'm talking about. So I feel like he's not stupid. You see the other women that he's cheating on her with. He knows what is quote unquote stereotypically attractive, which is why I feel like he keeps her in the background. Not that he doesn't necessarily love her, or maybe she could be a convenience. I don't know. I'm not in their relationship, but I say all of that to say I truly feel like they have an understanding of how their marriage works and what works for them, which is why she has never been really on his social media over these years and years and years that he's been out there. And she's only coming out now, and she's coming out now the way that she is because she's like, this is me normally. I don't have time to sit here, and obviously this is not the time for you to be your normal self if you're in my cranium. That's how I would think, but I'm not her. I'm not in their relationship. I really, truly feel like they have an understanding after 14 years that I can't even understand because I've never even been in a relationship over 3-4 years. So I don't know what kind of understanding they got going on. You know what I mean? Like I can't dissect that. So I feel like they've had these conversations. He woke her up and was like, babe, it's time. Or maybe they planned it out for her to come on there looking like that, child. I don't know. Because like you said, they can now pivot to have her write a book. She can literally drop a link to that church that she goes to. She has 80,000+ followers. She's going to get a blue check pretty soon, right? She's all of a sudden going to bring all these new people into their church, whether she does it on purpose or not. People are going to look into it. And for me, when I found out that she goes to that church where, they had the sex demon coming out of the girl, some of y'all probably seen it. It was going around on Facebook where the preacher was getting the sex demon out and it was like, spit it out. That is the church that she goes to. And there's photos of Derek there also. So again, I feel like they have an understanding, and I feel like they're going to get a real bag off of this. They're going to pivot, like you said, because you cannot continue going in the same direction that you've been going in with this type of foolishness coming out. You was cheating last week. Old girl said they smashed on the 18th. So get out of here with all of that 6 months ago thing. You mean 6 days ago, sir, if even that. So yeah, this is not going to be the last of them.
Oh, absolutely not. The pivot is on its way. The cash cow is on its way. TD Jakes is, if he doesn't pull out, they're going to figure out how to just kind of tie a bow on this thing so that everyone can profit. I mean, we're watching, and that's the thing. And I unfortunately, they both have a platform right now. And the more content they give us, the more people are going to be involved. So again, to your point, this is not going anywhere fast, but I do hope that we do get some professional mental health services in there, primarily for the wife, because she has been through so much trauma. And it seems that, this is not, again, she's not jumping on camera in a bonnet and no bra because he told her to. This is how she's showing up every day. Like, she's being kind of weird. It's just like she looks probably the way she feels. And I don't want to make any assumptions about what she's going through, but if you guys go to her Instagram, you will see exactly what I'm talking about.
Mention that YouTube that you were talking about. I feel like that YouTube video, it's 2 hours, but if you watch it, first of all, you'll see her in the church when the pastor calls her out and she comes up on the stage. It just makes so much more sense as to her mindset and how they're able to work together and why this is a working situation.
And they're complete opposites, which is even more weird. I'm like, listen, I'm all the way in this, girl. So the more information that comes out, I'm going to be there soaking it up because I want to see how this ends. I'm sure there are millions of other people like me who want to see it and see how it ends. So we'll see.
I know that's right. Well, sis, I want to thank you for joining me. This was a legendary show. I totally just enjoyed having this conversation with you. Let everybody know when they can check out the Clapback Culture and where they can find you on social media.
Yes. Okay. So you guys can find me on social media on Instagram and Twitter at Treasure of JULES. Go ahead and see it right there on the screen. And every Thursday, right here on Converge Media, you can find me and my co-host Mike Davis for Clapback Culture at 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So thank you, Besa, for having me. And we're gonna have to bring you to Clapback, sis. Have you
just
come
let me know
back
when
at
you
a
want to talk some
little
ish. Just don't give me no political topics. Ain't nobody got time.
Oh, don't worry. We'll let you choose your topics, sis. So you can come on and just, clap back at a few things.
That's right.
Comes on.
Okay, sis. Well, I'm gonna text you in a little bit. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break. I'm gonna wrap up the Rewind with Besa, and stay locked.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
If you missed that part, make sure you donate. If you didn't see it, rewind it a little bit. Anywho, that is the end of today's episode of The Rewind with Besa. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you missed our conversation about AI, Black Mirror, robots getting ready to take over, they're not necessarily going to take over, but they're pulling up, okay? Rewind the episode, share it with some friends that have watched Black Mirror, share it with anyone that has questions about what is going down in the future with these contact lenses that are definitely going to bring a whole new form of AI to our lives. You already know know, I want to wish you guys nothing but positive energy and light. It's nice outside. If you're in the city, go enjoy this good weather. Make sure you keep up with me on social media at Besa Gordon, BesaGordon. Tonight I'll be on Cube 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. per usual. And then if you're in Portland, I'll be on Jammin' from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. I love you all. Make sure that you continue to support Converge Media, and I'll be back in 2 weeks. Bye.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.